August 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adanna Combie, and this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We do apologize for the late start, but I'm telling you that as soon as we are about to begin, guess what? We had a power outage in studio this morning, but we thank God that the power has been restored and that you, our loyal viewers, are here with us this morning. As you are aware, it is World Steel Pan Day, and we will celebrate. In fact, we are celebrating in studio this morning, so we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire programming as we go through the conversations this morning. But before we get into all of that, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adanna. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, 11th August 2025. Tobago is charting a fresh course in tourism, embracing unconventional attractions after the resounding success of the Dutch Diving World Championships in Charlottesville on Saturday. The event drew thousands to witness daring dives from a 10-meter platform, marking its first staging outside Norway. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine said this aligns with plans to expand into sport, health, wellness, and education tourism. Recent ventures include a Commonwealth School cricket tournament with cycling and mountain biking next. He praised Charlottesville's hosting, noting its beauty is now showcased globally. Tobago will host the next two Duds event. Up next, the Innovative Democratic Alliance is urging urgent public consultations in Tobago on government's proposed Stand Your Ground legislation. Political leader Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus criticized Tobago MPs Joel Sampson and David Thomas for failing to engage constituents on the bill's potential impact. She stressed that MPs must consult both East and West Tobago to explain the law's implications and hear citizens' views before voting. Highlighting a disconnect between representatives and communities, she questions whose interests will be served. The bill, modeled partly on Florida's law, will be debated in Parliament in September. And finally, amid shifting global trade dynamics, Tobago business leaders are being urged to widen their horizon. Tobago Chamber Chairman Curtis Williams says U.S. tariff challenges could spur local firms to explore new export markets in Asia and Africa. While he supports ongoing negotiations to reduce tariff, Williams stresses the need to move beyond traditional partners. He believes Tobago's products have strong potential in untapped region, helping shield the economy from disruption and unlocking growth. William also called for sustained efforts to help businesses adapt and expand their international footprints. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Bianna, for our news there in 90 seconds. And welcome to Monday morning. Welcome to Monday morning, Bianna. I know we had a very exciting weekend on the island of Tobago.
Yes.
I know on Saturday we had Duds diving, and we also had the Pan celebration on the Esplanade as well. Were you a part of any of the activities?
Unfortunately, I was not being able to attend any of the activities, but I, saw sneak peeks on social media, and it seems like it was really a success, both events.
I know, I too saw images and videos on social media platforms, and I was like, wow, Tobago, you did it again.
Yes.
Tobago did it again, and I must say kudos to the organizers and all those who contributed to the production of both events. You know, I really am happy that the Tobago space came alive in the east and on the west, central west side of the island, where people were able to participate in events and activities across the island.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that we continue to realize that we have magic on the inside of us as Tobagonians, and we can literally do anything we put our minds to.
Yes.
All right. So I know that we're off to a late start this morning, but I do want to wish you a very, very good day, Bian. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day today as you continue with your assignments for today. So have an amazing day and see you again tomorrow.
Same to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout out. And of course, we do like to celebrate with our viewers this morning. And today we start off by saying happy birthday this morning to Bertrand Edwards. Bertrand Edwards is celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Bertrand. Our next birthday celebrant this morning, Mr. Navin Quaver. I hope I got your name correctly. Happy Quaver. Happy birthday to you today. And we do pray God's blessings upon your life. And we hope you have a wonderful birthday season, and that you are able to enjoy with family, friends, and loved ones. So happy birthday to you. Miss Avian Williams. Avian Williams is also celebrating a birthday. And of course, we say happy birthday to you as well. We do hope that as you enter this new season of your life, that you have an amazing birthday season, amazing birthday period, and that you are able to celebrate with family, friends, and loved ones. So happy birthday to you as well. And of course, you know, as we celebrate birthdays, we also celebrate anniversaries right here on Tobago Updates Television. And a special 50th wedding anniversary goes out to Anne and Philbert Hislop. They celebrated yesterday their 50th wedding anniversary, and we are saying happy anniversary to them as they celebrated marital bliss, 50 years of marital bliss. Happy birthday. I know it didn't come easily. I know, of course, there were challenges that arose, but look at this young couple, young couple. We say happy anniversary to you, and we pray that you continue to enjoy the blessings that come with marital union. May God continue to bless you, guide you, and keep you young and smiling. If you know this couple at all, they are such an amazing, beautiful couple, and they're just always so giving and so willing. So happy anniversary to you guys as well. And of course, even if we don't have your photographs and you're celebrating, we join in the celebration with you and remind you to put God first, because He is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. So you might be wondering, who are we having conversations with this morning in studio? And this morning, of course, it's Monday morning, and we need to speak to TTPS. Yes, we need to speak to the TTPS. And this morning we have Sergeant Emmanuel Yorke in our studio with us this morning to bring us the TTPS crime update and also to speak on detention orders. So we're going to have that conversation. But also remember, it's World Pan Day, so we will be celebrating the steel pan. In fact, when we go to break, you might be hearing some sweet steel pan music in the background and some clips from Saturday evening's events on the Scarborough Esplanade. So we're going to go for a short break before we begin conversations this morning, and as we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
Passion, power, and purpose.
The Rhythmic Vibrations and Rhythm Babes Performing Arts Company presents No Excuse. Join us on Tuesday, 12th of August at the Shaw Park Complex at 6 p.m. for a night of dance, drama, and song.
This is not just a show, it's a movement, a message, a moment.
Tickets are only $125 for adults and $75 for children. You don't want to miss this.
What's your excuse?
No excuse.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me ramage. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Hello, New York! Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. And as I told you, we are celebrating the steel pan In studio this morning, it's World Steel Pan Day, and of course, you're hearing the sweet steel pan music here in our studio this morning. And we continue to celebrate. In fact, it is a proud moment for Trinidad and Tobago. As you are aware, the steel pan is our national instrument, legally our national instrument, and we are celebrating worldwide. As we continue the celebrations this morning, I must say happy wedding anniversary. There's another wedding anniversary couple, of course. This is my brother, Adanna Combie, and his wife, T.T.P.S Combie. They are celebrating 7 years of wedded bliss this morning. In fact, they had a 2-day wedding. So you will be seeing today, I'll be saying happy wedding anniversary, and tomorrow you'll be seeing the other part of their wedding as well. So happy wedding anniversary to you guys. Much love to you, and we do pray God's continued blessings upon your union. All right, so it's time for business. We're going to have conversations this morning. In studio with me is Sergeant Emmanuel Yorke of the TTPS, and this morning we're going to be talking about the crime updates in terms of criminal activities happening on the island of Tobago within the last week and weekend, and of course we're going to be speaking on the topic of detention orders. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adanna. Thanks for having me.
Of course, a pleasure having you, and it's always, a pleasure having a representative from the TTPS in studio, because there's so much information that we need to know in the Tobago space as people who reside here. We need to know what is happening. I mean, sometimes we hear things happening on the ground, and the best place to get the information is from the TTPS themselves, because, I mean, you speak from a place of information, an informed place. So we know we're getting it, from the horse's mouth, as they say.
Yes.
And so we know we had some events on the island over the weekend. We had the Dodds diving. We also had the steel pan on the Esplanade, among other events that took place on the island. Just give us a little update in terms of detection of crime or any criminal activities that happened within the last week and up to the weekend on the island, because we are aware, we heard some things, but we want to get, the assurances from the TTPS where we are, where that is concerned.
Yes, and I must start with the good news. After a lot of hard work by officers of the Tobago Division, remember we had this robbery at the Cad's supermarket, right? I'm happy to report that all the persons involved were held, and evidence led to them being placed before the court. So they have all been held and all placed before the court for the offense of robbery, right? We also had a murder on the island just a short while back. And again, I'm happy to report that after consultation with the DPP's office, we got the go-ahead and charged one person for that murder. So I'm saying that, asking the persons to continue to support the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in our initiative, and we are working for you to ensure that we continue to keep Tobago, the Tobago space, a very safe space. Now, over the weekend, we had a few events taking place. Coming off those events, there were no serious incidents. We are happy to say those events went off without any incidents. Outside of those events, we had a few things where we had, on Friday, we had a store break-in and larceny in the Crown Point district. We also had, on Friday, we had a robbery with violence, right? That was in the Chauvin district. On Saturday, in the Crown Point district, we had a wounding. We also had in the Roxborough district another wounding with intent. So we had a few events over the weekend, but continue to trust in the police service. We are working assiduously to ensure that the perpetrators of all these offenses are brought to justice.
Do you have any leads on any of the things that took place over the weekend?
What I could say is that the police are working, and whatever information that we have, we are working assiduously with it to ensure that persons are brought before the court. There are things that I would not be able to say But I could tell you that we are working assiduously to have all those crimes detected and perpetrators placed before the courts.
And in terms of getting information from our communities, because we always talk about if you see something, say something, and of course lend your help to the TTPS in terms of being able to apprehend perpetrators of crime. Are you seeing that partnership being strengthened in terms of, especially for the recent crimes that you are talking about, the persons at the supermarket, for instance, being arrested, and the murder suspect? Were you able to collaborate with communities and get intelligence from on the streets to be able to assist you with the arrests?
Yes, we have. I'm saying that this could not have been done without the help and the assistance from the members of the public. And I want to publicly thank them for all the assistance that they would have given us in solving those offenses.
And in terms of continued support with communities, what is the TTPS doing in terms of continuing to strengthen the relationships and ensuring that communities understand that they play an important and pivotal role in supporting the TTPS and supporting agencies within communities to ensure that our spaces remain safe? How are you planning to strengthen that partnership?
Well, the TTPS continues having walkabouts within the communities. We have town meetings, we have station council meetings, and the officers are always charged with engaging the community. Go out there, speak with the members of the community, be the friend of the community. Let the community see a friendly face within the police service. And with this, we continue to get information and partner with the community.
All right, and so our topic this morning, we're talking about detention orders. So let us first of all explain to us what does that term mean, so that our viewers can understand what exactly we're talking about, and get into the heart of the matter.
Right. When we talk about prevention order, we know that we are in a state of emergency. Right. One of the things that the state of emergency does, it gives the Minister of Homeland Security the power to issue what is called a preventative detention order. Right? What this order does, well, how this order comes about, is that having gathered intelligence and evidence that an individual may have committed gang-related offenses or other serious offenses, or that person is about to commit any of those offenses, right? We take that information and that intelligence to the Minister of Homeland Security, and he issues what is called a preventative detention order. This is to assist in detaining persons who may tend to commit offenses which would go against public safety.
Okay, and so we're in a place now, as you mentioned, the SOE and stuff like that, and we're in a place now where these detention orders are being issued, right?
Yes.
What does that now mean for our local spaces in terms of, or at least for the TTPS, in terms of increasing their ability to execute their duties in terms of, you have this intelligence now, and now you have the detention orders. What then is the next step?
Right. Once the detention order is signed by the Minister of Homeland Security, the police can now detain the individual and arrest the individual, and have them detained at a place designated for same. Right. Now, to ensure that this is not arbitrarily done, right, the Chief Justice has set up what is called a special tribunal. And the person who is detained, he has his rights, right? Although you have been detained under the state of emergency preventative detention order, you have your rights. And one of his rights is to speak with his attorney. So he could now confer with his attorney, and they could take this matter to the special tribunal, where the special tribunal hears them. He also hears the police side of it, and they would determine whether this detention is lawful. Right? Now, the minister can also, in his discretion, revoke a detention order. Right? And I must also indicate that once a detention order is signed, it must be placed in the Gazette within 7 days of that signing. So everybody would know that this detention order was in place.
What are the grounds for revoking a detention order?
Right. Once it is seen that there is not enough intelligence or information, because we don't want the citizens to say that the police is kidnapping persons off the street and being if you want to put it, a slave master or so over persons, right? So it's for checks and balances. And once there's not enough, then that order would be revoked.
But then how is the order first signed if there's not enough? Isn't there supposed to be some measure of, as you mentioned before, some type of intelligence to lead to the order?
You would have the intelligence. And remember, it's just intelligence at this time. If you continue with your investigation, the investigation does not cease when the person is detained. It's not that the person is detained and, okay, that's it, everything is finished. Right? It continues, the investigation continues, right? So if enough is not unearthed for further detention of the person, then that person is released.
Oh, okay, understood now.
Yes.
And in terms of being currently in an SOE, has that been enacted in Trinidad and Tobago right now? Are we seeing preventative detention orders being signed currently during this particular SOE? And have any of them actually gone in terms of having sufficient evidence to continuously detain or arrest and charge an individual?
Right. For this SOE, we have 25 detention orders that were signed, and these persons were detained. Right. What I could tell you also with those detention orders, if after continued inquiries, there's evidence and a person is charged for an offense, then once the offense is a bailable one, that person can access bail and be bailed. Right? But for to date, there's 25 detention orders that were signed and executed.
And still currently being investigated.
Yes.
None of them are completed yet. They're still being investigated.
They have all been investigated still.
Okay, very interesting information coming this morning. You know, it's always good to learn, one, the terminologies, what they mean, and also the execution of the duty, so that we can also understand as citizens when we hear things popping up in the news, that we understand what transpired, so we don't jump to conclusions or have our own thoughts where those things are concerned. We actually have the information. So I must say thank you for coming on this morning and explaining to us what it means and the status of it in our country right now as we stand with 25. And of course, we will be following to see the outcomes of these 25, whether as the investigation continue, if we have any charges, or if we have to, as you said before,
to revoke
the detention orders. So we'll continue to follow with the TTPS. But in closing, I want you to speak to the Tobago space, right? The Tobago population, the people of Tobago, the people on the ground who have been working along with the TTPS, or even those who have not found the confidence to come to the TTPS with any information they might have. I want you to remind them of the importance of the partnership between community and TTPS. And I also want you to bring that measure of confidence to them in relation to what the TTPS is doing and how you are going to continue to integrate communities and keep them safe as they bring information to you to detect and apprehend criminals.
What I can say to the members of the public out there is that the police service cannot do it alone. Without your assistance, we would not be able to effectively conduct our functions, right? We know within this time of the SOE now, persons would be inconvenienced, right? But take this inconvenience as just a little delay so that for tomorrow, we would get a better place to live in. And with your assistance, Tobago would get back to what it was before, the clean, green, safe and serene island that we once knew.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on this morning and bringing that information for us. And kudos again to the TTPS for apprehending the persons who perpetrated the crimes in recent times on the island of Tobago. And we do hope to get more information as you continue to detect and arrest those who are making our lives uncomfortable on the island of Tobago, because we all want to live in a space where we are all happy, where we are free to walk the nation streets and not have to look over our shoulders thinking that somebody might be trying to take what belongs to me. In the background, you can hear the sweet palm music of Mr. Jovan Daniel. He is our panelist in studio this morning as we continue to celebrate Steel Pan Day, World Steel Pan Day. In fact, across the globe, I saw videos from as far as the United States and even Japan as they continue to celebrate World Steel Pan Day. So it's something for us to be very, very proud of. And we have our own Jovan Daniel here in studio this morning. I think, in fact, he was a member of Tobago Star Quest. Yes, he was one of the contestants there as well. And so he's bringing his skill, his talent, and his love for the steel pan for you this morning. So we leave you this morning with the sweet, melodious sounds of the steel pan, the national instrument of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And happy World Steel Pan Day. This is where we end the morning show, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, which is Good Morning Tobago. So we do hope that you stay with us. And as you do, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
This career day is one of the most important days in the lives of the students, because these students are just discovering themselves, and we want to expose them to as much possibilities as possible, so that at the end of the day they will not only be limited to what they knew before, they will see, well, okay, maybe all the time I was stuck thinking that I wanted to do this, but there is something better for me to do. So better exposure, better choices means that you have a greater chance to succeed in life.
We have about 30 different booths. The professions vary from tertiary education to entrepreneurship, to employment after college or after high school, which is WASA. We have THTI, we also have MIC, COSTAT, and we have makeup artists, nail technicians, and barbering going on the inside of the building as well. Our theme this year is Step Out into New Possibilities, and I want my students to understand that it's not just a closed-minded thing where it's just early morning work for them. It's more creating your own employment, finding new ideas to create employment in Tobago. Don't sit and wait for somebody else to employ you.
It's wonderful is for us to get to know more about the careers that are out there that we need. If we want, we could join and become someone in life and end up on the streets or begging for little dollars and $2. I want to become a policeman to bring law and order to the society of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a fun thing to let the kids learn about what they have to do in life and thing. My favorite part is the cooking part.
I think it's very inspiring to the upcoming youths, I have been at a couple of career fairs in the sense of teaching children how to trim. Also, barbering is something that is be overlooked, I should say, but is one of the most essential part of grooming, because men need to be groomed in order to go out to places, whether it be the workplace or out at parties, etc. And it tends to be overlooked. So I choose to come to the career fair to promote myself and also to teach people how to become a barber.
I believe in career fair because it allows for an opportunity for students to understand what career path that they would like to go into, and stepping into your new possibilities is one of the things I think is a good team, and what it allows for students to understand that they have to know their purpose, they have to know what they desire in life, and from that build on their brand and what they want to become as future generations.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
My name is Giselle Gittins-Peters, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Tobago Regional Health Authority's Internship Program. I am extremely pleased to bring warm greetings and officially welcome you to our year.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. And this morning, we are having exciting conversations as I have in studio with me Assemblyman Trevor James, who is also the Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, Chanel. Morning to Bill, and morning to your viewers online. It's good to be here.
Well, it's good to have you here this morning. And I mean, there's so much to chat about. We haven't sat and chat in a while. I think the last time we had a conversation, we were talking about, your review of your time in office and stuff like that. So, it's good to hear from you now that a lot of work has been happening. So you kind of give us a bit of an update on where we are.
I remain available to Tobago Updates. And I'm only an invitation away.
Excellent.
But we have come to almost the end of a term, our first term in office. We are 6 months away maybe, and it's an opportune time to have a conversation about what we've inherited, where we've been, how we've managed, and what might be in the future. From where I sit, I think as at the division, we have attempted to change the way the division functions because of the financial crunch we met and the mountain of debt we inherited. we've had to rely more on in-house staff than on contract, going out to contracts to execute projects. And I think we've done a good job of that. We've built out different structures in the division. We've rearranged units in order to have a more matrix type operation. And I think all in all, we've done a good job. Some would say an excellent job. We've attempted to execute iconic type projects that Tobago has not seen. We have used the management team in the division, at the division, to manage those projects and to build the capacity project management wise. And we're seeing that project management type performance trickling down to the maintenance teams as well. We have challenges. Like all divisions in Tobago, we have a work ethic that we need to resolve. And I think the more I look at it, the more I want to say that employees of the THA must see ourselves as the lucky ones. We must understand that our private sector is small and employs a few people, and we are lucky to be in the employ of the state. And we must come out and contribute and set the example for the next generation come in. We must want to give that sense of Tobago-ness to how we work, and our desire to work and to contribute to the building of the island is something I think we must all buy into and want to increase and improve as we go on. That has been part of the challenge. I think we are not maximizing the efforts as an employee of the state. Overall, we are not maximizing the benefit that we should maximize from the effort that employees put in. And I think that is one of the challenges going forward that there needs to be a discussion about in the public space.
Right, and even as you touched on that a bit, when it comes to efficiency within your particular division of infrastructure, do you feel like since you have become secretary that there's been a boost in the efficiency of the employees within that division? And if so, how is that measured?
Well, listen, change management is a difficult thing. So I try to measure in increments. And from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing a positive move in the right direction. Have we become more efficient? If we measure efficiency by the type of projects we have attempted and executed, then I think clearly we're becoming more efficient. Are we doing things more quickly? I would think so as well. But efficiency is a complex thing to measure, because you have so many factors to consider before you come up with how you determine efficiency and what you've inherited, where you're starting from. But I think we have in fact improved the way we serve the public. We've attempted different things. We've attempted SMART. We've tried to get the staff to become more professional, to understand that the public are our employees. And I think we are moving in the right direction. I will leave the efficiency part out of it because it's difficult to come up with that arithmetic formula to determine what that efficiency module will be.
Understood. And, even when you came into office, initially they called you the man with the plan, having that plan for Scarborough. And we have not really seen the execution of that plan. Where are you with that? And even going forward, is that something that is still on the table in terms of transforming Scarborough? And is that in a better position now that there's a different administration at the central government level?
Well, Tobago knows that we came up with this grand idea during the campaign of 2021, and we converted that into the policy of the TTP government. We did in fact go out to tender, had respondents, and we've been negotiating for more than a year. These are very complicated contracts to get into. We were at the point last year where we wanted a sovereign guarantee. the PNM didn't seem to want to grant us that. Since the change in government, we've had conversations with government officials, and I think we are hopeful now that, at least more hopeful, that the Ministry of Finance will sit down with us and have that discussion that would move us to the issuance of a sovereign guarantee. We've written the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Finance, and we are waiting a response specific to the issuance of a sovereign guarantee and how will that work out. That is the only deliverable that the PPP team requires, and we are hopeful that within the next couple of months we will have that in hand, and we can move the project forward. Now, Scarborough redevelopment is not only iconic, it is the project that can transform Tobago, and I have no expectation that it will be easy. In this first 4 years, thankfully, we've been able to have the concept design, have the feasibility study, all of which are online, and we have in fact brought the project to a place where it's almost shovel ready now, and we're waiting for that final step that requires the government of Trinidad and Tobago to buy into the project, and the public of Tobago must begin to put pressure on the government, whomever is in government in Port of Spain, to respond to the needs of Tobago. We are in a position in Tobago where we don't get the benefit of the PSIP. We don't get the benefit of the infrastructure development fund. We have no capital development projects on the island essentially for the last however long. And so our economy is stagnated because of that. In the meantime, our sister island in Trinidad benefits from these capital development projects every year. And we are left in Tobago to try to patch a hole here and fix a drain there, to the point where the public now places more emphasis on hole patching and how much grant you could give them and what money you could give them, instead of buying into this grand idea of how we move the economy. Because that is, if we want to build the island, if we want to build Tobago, if we want to build Tobago into a state, into a nation, we have to get to the place where we find that balance between the low-level things, as I call
Right. And one of those things has to do with being state-of-the-art and being able to compete globally. And when people think about that, they think about the initial things that people see and experience when they come to the island. And one of those things happen to be the roadways. So as soon as you come off from the airport, the first, your initial impression is the roads and the buildings and, some of the infrastructural things that we see. There is that new road that is going, that is happening from the Storby Local Road going all the way up to Shervan. Tell us about that and that connection to the new airport project.
Well, the Friendship Road, when the government went to cabinet, to acquire Friendship Estate, one of the stated reasons was to build that road. That is 2009, 2010. The idea then was to connect Cove Industrial Park, as it was supposed to be, to an airport terminal, and hopefully have a nexus between them to allow for import-export cargo type operations seamlessly along that road, and of course to take traffic off the Old Milford Road, with connections to Shervan in order to move tourists from Plymouth, Blackrock area to the airport back and forth quickly. Now, it's a road that has been on the books. We came to office and we decided that, listen, no government in Trinidad was going to build this thing for us, and we needed to find a way to do it. And we stepped up to the plate, and we are nearing completion. Now, there is talk, I have seen those from the other side talking about the road around the back behind Apex and how the central government wanted to do it under the PNM and all of that jazz. Nothing is further from the truth. We wrote the NEDCO and the supervising ministry for the airport construction, then the Ministry of Finance, to sit down and have a conversation with us. And they haven't. They did not even acquire the land to build the road. They put out a design to say this is what their intent would be. But it was all part of the gimmick, as we've been fed for years under the PNM. It's all part of the gimmick to say, hey, we plan to do this. They had planned to build a road from Scarborough to Charlottesville. If you're not too young, you would remember that big sign up at Rockleyville Lights, they're all in red when Manning was Prime Minister. So this is not a new thing, and I don't want Tobagonians to be fooled by that. We met with the Minister of Works then, Mr. Sinanan, who said to us that from the studies they undertook at the Ministry of Works, that there was no need for them to build that road in the back. That the existing road will suffice until 2040 based on the data that they collected from their surveys in Tobago. So that is just small talk. Is the road in the back needed? I think from a construction standpoint, obviously any development in Tobago, for me, is needed. Who is going to build it? The Tobago Sub-Assembly has responsibility for infrastructure in Tobago, and so even if the ministry, whichever ministry, that may be finance, works, whomever, again buys into the Tobago development plan that we are pushing, then a sit-down is required. And we requested that from NIDCO, we requested it from the Ministry of Finance, and they did not want to have anything to do with us. Now we have other challenges with how they have built out the airport, from a road infrastructure tying into the existing roadways that we have. So now we have the situation where they have placed a roundabout within the airport compound, meaning that the road and intending to route traffic into and out of the airport as part of the normal route that the traffic will take. And we met with Sinanan, the Chief Secretary, myself, and some public servants to discuss that. And clearly, we cannot have a situation where the route to Crown Point goes into what is essentially private property and then comes back out as being normal, and the airports authority having a shutdown for whatever reason closes off their compound and closes off the road. And so there's a discussion that we need to have with this new government to ensure that the roundabout is placed where it should have been placed, and that is at the apex of what's that street? Storby Local Road, and that 4 roads there. Not Kilgreen, what's the other one?
I can't remember. That's the one with Stumpy?
No. Further down, I don't remember the name of the street, but that street that comes out where the cooks live there.
Okay.
Right on that corner, that is where the roundabout should be. And we've made that point, and we are now at the division going to decide on what the routing of traffic will be in the area as we prepare for the opening. I think the engineers are now trying to determine by a study what is the best routing for the traffic to take, and hopefully that will be done soon and we can come to the public. We have ideas already that we've discussed of how that flow should be in and out of the airport, and we hopefully will get to that before this fiscal year is finished.
Right, and even as you are still doing that work to ensure that the traffic is routed adequately to, alleviate that congestion in that area, when can we expect to see the launch or the completion of that extend the road that is being placed in the market?
We are hopeful. I think we are about 90% completed, and I think that intersection, I was assured 2-3 weeks that will be done, and then the final paving will be done. So
Okay.
all things considered, 6 weeks or so, we're hoping that will be done.
Excellent. Going back a bit to the actual airport, we saw the ceremonial opening before the exiting of office from the Prime Minister former Prime Minister Dr. Keith O'Rourke earlier this year. Where are we in terms of that opening? I know you are not the Minister for Works, so you can't give us a definite date, but in terms of the communication between the THA and the central government as it pertains to that airport project in Tobago, is the communication better, and what information can you give us?
Well, we have written to the Minister of Works. The Minister of Works and myself have been texting via WhatsApp, and we're trying to find a date that's mutually acceptable to both of us to meet. And I'm sure the airport project will be one of the topics we will discuss. We are in a place in Trinidad and Tobago where we allow craziness to happen. We've had a ceremonial opening, supposedly practically complete. And for those who don't know, practical completion means that you are more or less at the snagging stage of a project, and somebody has done a walkthrough and they have identified these remedial things to fix, and the project is basically finished, and you're handing over, and in handing over process, you have these remedial things to do. What we had is an attempt by the former administration to put up a plaque somewhere with the airport being far from complete. If you pass there now, work still going on, and that's why non-government people could have toured the airport, have a full tour of the airport. But we are hopeful that we would meet with the government and government officials, and we would sit down together and work out how this thing will work, because we have a massive building now, and we have no flights coming into the island, and the capacity, if I am not mistaken, we were told that the airport was intended to host 3 million people per annum. Now, that requires a significant increase in flights. And so sometimes how you conceptualize the project and what the objectives are is what should guide the construction. You can't have $1 billion being spent on an airport terminal and at the same time Cal using another island as its hub. And Tobago is left out of the Caribbean connection.
Right. And they are currently prioritizing Guyana as one of their main economic drivers right now for Caribbean Airlines.
Guyana, Barbados. So we can't even get a flight to Barbados. They've canceled the flights. We're paying more from Tobago to Barbados, from Trinidad to Barbados. And so unless the people in cabinet and so on bring Tobagonians into the conversation early, when you conceptualize projects for Tobago, we have to be men enough in Tobago to say, listen, this thing doesn't work for us and will not work for us if X, Y, and Z are not done, and all of that should be part of the project.
Right.
One of the reasons why the road wasn't built, because the road wasn't part of the project.
Correct. And the voices for Tobago are part of that conversation. And Tobago's voice being a part of that conversation. But now we have 2 representatives in the parliament for Tobago East and Tobago West. So even as you are making that point, what is the role of our 2 representatives as it pertains to having that advocacy currently? And do you think that is happening as we speak?
Well, it's early days. I mean, we won the election. We won the 2 seats. We have capable representatives in the parliament. But it's early days, and I think guys are finding their feet, finding the way, determining the strategy along with the party executive of how they attack or defend certain actions and how they present themselves and represent Tobago at the Trinidad Parliament. And so hopefully, as you know, we've been a few 3-4 months. So let's see how that goes after the budget and the conversation around the budget is concluded. Before we say how is going, I think if I listened well, both Mr. Sampson and Mr. Thomas presented well in the review of the budget, the 6 months review, media review. So I'm hopeful that the representation will demonstrate to the people that they made the right choice, and we as a people in Tobago will have Tobago issues front and center based on the representations in the parliament.
Right, but even that representation is not just sitting or standing in the parliament and making a contribution as it pertains to the legislation, but to also have those relationships, with those ministers, being a part of those conversations that are happening, being in the room when the THA and the central government is having that conversation, and, being able to advocate for that Tobago positioning, even as it pertains to the opening of that airport and ensuring that persons from Tobago are able to benefit economically from that airport.
I think that is happening from what I'm hearing. I think that is happening. There is that conversation taking place. We remember that we are not part of the government. We've been clear to say that, but I'm certain that board representatives are in fact meeting with government officials, and we would see how that rolls out. Obviously, building relationships take some time, and it's early days, like I say, and I'm hopeful that we would see the benefit of having them there redound to Tobago's improve participation in these national issues. We at a THA level will provide them with all the information that they require to ensure that they can be the advocates that we want, and I only see success from it.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversation right after this. So see you soon.
It's a brand new morning. Skibidi bang bang. Yours truly Juby representing for Neon, a tribal affair by Highlighter Entertainment. We are here.
Tobago, are you ready? Highlighter Entertainment's Neon, a Tribal Affair. Costume sales are live. Register now at highlighterentertainment.com. This is Carnival meets culture. Rhythm meets rebellion. Neon is calling. And your moment is now. Light up the night.
I'm jamming on the pavement with Neon. Jamming on the pavement with Red Woman. If you come to rub and shoot.
This August, you have no excuse. A night of passion, power, and purpose.
The Rhythmic Vibrations and Rhythm Babes Performing Arts Company presents No Excuse. Join us on Tuesday, 12th of August at the Shore Park Complex at 6 p.m. for a night of dance, drama, and song.
This is not just a show. It's a movement, a message, a moment.
Tickets are only $125 for adults and $75 for children. You don't want to miss this.
What's your excuse?
No excuse.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, uncle. Invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School courtyard. But I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. And we continue a conversation. We have been chatting extensively here in studio with Assemblyman Trevor James, who's the Secretary for Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. This morning we have touched on, a number of projects, specifically road projects, and we touched a bit on that airport and that new connector road that's happening from Shervan straight down to Store Bay. Even as we talk about the airport, economic activity surrounding the airport is so important. And when Tobagonians receive a new airport, we are also looking forward to receiving the economic benefits of that airport. Not just the increased flights and increased tourism, but, the average man on the ground wants to feel the actual impact of the foreign exchange entering into the country and being able to expand their enterprise. When it comes to projects right around that airport, whether it be commercial accommodation or whatever it is, what is the THA currently doing to work with the business community to ensure that we stimulate economic activity around that new airport?
Well, Chanel, listen, it's a conversation that has to start. We have not been involved in the planning, the execution of the airport project. Nothing to do with it. We've not been involved. That is why former Prime Minister Rowley could have behaved the way he did to the Chief Secretary et al. in that opening. We've had no communication whatsoever. Like I said, from the Division of Works, we wrote to the NIDCO to have a sit down twice, and was unsuccessful. Now, Tobagonians, sometimes we are laid back to our own demise, and so Tobagonians sat by and saw a situation where the central government dispossessed many of our brethren to the point where they were boasting that they saved $46 million in that dispossession of Tobagonians' land. Had a budget for it and saved on the budget while varying the contract by hundreds of millions of dollars. And we've sat back and we've taken that, and today those people still can't rebuild their houses, although they got paid whatever they got paid. Because so much time passed. They've been out of house renting, so much time passed, most of the money being eaten up. Now, with the new airport, obviously comes, because of the size of the airport and the intent behind the airport, significant employment opportunities for ground staff and that kind of stuff within the airport. Significant employment opportunities there, and we would advocate for most of those to go to Tobagonians. In terms of the business opportunities, again, we were clear to say that he who approves your projects determines what happens in your country, right? And if that approval is coming from outside of your country, then you have a major problem, because someone who doesn't even understand your culture and what you want in Tobago would be sitting somewhere else and determining for you what you can have.
Right. I'm glad that you mentioned that particularly.
And just now, and so we've been clear from day one that the law says that town country planning is a responsibility of the THA, and we've been trying to do that, and hopefully that will be done, and the staff at the town country planning will come to understand that the needs of Tobago are what they are there to do. No, it cannot be that if you are appealing to an appeal board in Port of Spain, I went on an appeal board process for a town country refusal, and around the table was one Tobagonian, and people were there, half of them never been to Tobago, sitting and addressing an appeal for some project in Tobago. So there's that in terms of the reclassification of lands and what could be done where along the strip, because that will become a major strip now.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's a problem that a lot of persons have raised recently. So I was going to go right there into the town and country approvals, because you have a number of lands that are vacant right around the airport. And because of its proximity to the runway, there's restrictions on how and what persons can build. Some of those restrictions might be a bit archaic when we look around the world and see the type of developments that are happening very close to airports, right? Some may be for very good reason, of course, but you have a situation where there's still a limit on how tall buildings can go and how close to the runway persons can build. Is that a conversation that you are planning to have with the central government as it pertains to the approval? Because there's so much land that's still available and vacant around the airport.
Absolutely. You see, I made this point many years ago since coming to office, that town and country planning and the environmental authority must be under the THA. You just cannot have someone from outside your territory deciding for you if you could build, when you could go to the bank, when you could invest your money. And that is what we've been subject and allowed to happen.
And some of those lands are still marked as residential, even though you have...
Some of them are agricultural.
Even though it's in such close proximity to a major economic hub. This is an area, when you look around the world, you look at the airport it's also a business hub. So this is where a lot of companies position their headquarters. You know, you have restaurants, you have bars, you have those short-term rental stays, long-term rental. And so we look forward to hearing from you in the near future.
Shana, let me say this, right?
As it pertains to the outcome of those conversations.
Let me say this, right? That if you have a dispassionate analysis of the airport project, you might want to conclude that the airport wasn't built for Tobagonians. And we have to find a way in the THA now to ensure that Tobagonians benefit from this terminal that was built.
Right. And, you know, something that I would have brought to your attention even off air is the situation of even being able to access certain, you know, stores and shops at the airport if you do not have a ticket to travel, whether it be domestically or internationally. Because the way that the current airport is structured and set up, the shops are after the security. So you go in, you go through security, and then you access the shops, duty-free stores, and the canteen, cafeteria area. So this is a conversation that can be had with the central government as it pertains to still bolstering that economic activity and access to persons who may not be traveling to be able to benefit from that airport.
Well, that's the conversation we will have. I mean, we around the region, most of the airports are designed like that. You can drive through Barbados, go into the car park, go to a chefette right at the airport, downstairs before you go past security. And so those are conversations we will have. Like I said, the airport wasn't designed for Tobagonians. And so a lot of our confectionery people who are in the airport and so on have concerns. Our car rental people will have major concerns now when they move the airport, the terminal further up, operations further up the road, and no space and all of that. So we have to sit down with the chambers of commerce and so on, and find a way collectively how we can have this terminal be used for the benefit of Tobagonians first, and see how we can participate in the economic activity in the area. No doubt there will be a need for continuous conversation to ensure that in fact our local business people are in fact benefiting, because at the end of the day, Chanel, what we want to do is stimulate business activity. If we have increased business activity, then we have less strain on the THA for employment and so on, and that is our overall goal.
Right, and we have someone on our Facebook who has left a comment saying, what do you mean the airport wasn't built for Tobagonians? Expand on that more, please.
Well, the airport was built, from the data I have, to accommodate 3 million people. The design passing through the airport. No plan was made to increase flights to Tobago. We had to beg for a year or more after COVID to increase flights from 18 to 24. The flights still not enough. You go down to the airport, no, you can't get a flight to Trinidad and back. Vacation time. The design of the airport doesn't lend itself to, as you put it, local businesses participating in the process. The THA is not involved in the conversation, and so what we've had is a ministry in Trinidad sitting by itself, even when there was a PNM administration in Tobago, sitting by itself and determining for us what we should need, and executing a project that excluded us. That is why they could have taken away the lands of Tobagonians and underpay them. So when I say it's not built for us, it is built for what they consider to be this Trinidad and Tobago ideal that they have. That who benefits down the road from it? We don't even know what is the process of getting to rent a spot in the airport. We, meaning we in the THA.
Okay.
You understand? Much less the people who are the public. So we now have to find a way in the THA with this new administration in Trinidad to ensure that Tobago is benefiting, and Tobago now reaps the rewards of having this asset on our land space, which we should in fact be managing. So we now have to take something that wasn't built for us. It was built for this ideal Tobago. It is like building a hospital in Trinidad for Tobagonians. You know that has been the plan all along. You build infrastructure in Trinidad, and you say we buy a better boat for you, and you can go into Trinidad and you get the services there. It's like that. So it is not built for us. It is built.
So meaning it's not adapted to the culture that exists.
We are not
here.
considered in it.
Okay. Right.
The revenue to be made through the terminal doesn't come to us. We are not really considered. This is part of the so-called national trust for infrastructure development. Right. It is not for Tobago development. Right. We benefit in the end. Hopefully, we get more people coming, and our hoteliers and guest house people and car rentals and taxi men and so on make some money. But that is it.
And just to clarify, based on some of the comments we see on Facebook, we understand that most duty-free shops are always past the security. But when you go to those major airports, or not even the major airports, just airports on a whole, there are always stores on the outskirts that are accessible to everyone, even walk-in traffic. So that is the conversation that we're having. This current airport does not lend itself to that type of activity.
I heard you, and I
in
said
and around.
we
So
will
just
have that
putting clarity
conversation
out there for the persons who are on social
We just
media.
have that conversation with the relevant ministers to ensure that the floor plans are redeveloped, to ensure that there is space dedicated to Tobago businesses. Car rental people have reached out to me in the past to say, listen, James, we need a booth to rent our cars here because now we're in Crown Point.
Mm-hmm.
The airport is in Canaan. So and the difficulty there in Crown Point, and just to find out who to talk to. So there are some conversations to be had, and hopefully we'll have those conversations within the next month or two.
Right. And even for the persons who are saying, since this administration came into office, we still haven't had an access road in our area, or, our road has been like this since, the last administration. What are you saying to those persons in terms of the available resources? I know that you would have acquired some equipment recently to do or to increase your capacity to pave roads here in Tobago. And what are you saying to those persons in terms of when are you going to get to them? The persons who are fed up, they say, you know what, at this point, I have no confidence in any politician because my road has been like this for as long as I can remember. What do you say to those persons?
It's a difficult place to be. I think sometimes I feel we're in a no-win situation. We've inherited dilapidated infrastructure, absent infrastructure across the island. And because of how we started and so on, there's this heightened expectation that everything could be done within a short period of time. The reality is that at the Division of Infrastructure, our development budget has significantly decreased over the 3 years, down to this year where it's $40 or $41 million. $41 million can only allow us to pay the staff the wages that work in the development program. So we are scraping money from recurrent in order to buy material from spell to do a road. In the last 2 years, we've not given out even one contract because we seem to a Tobagonian to build a road or a wall or something, because we simply have no money with which to do it. And yes, we've bought equipment, and yes, we have been doing what we can, but we have development team with one spreader, one roller, 2 excavators, and so on, trying to satisfy the needs of everybody who have an access road in the country. And so it's a difficult, slow process, and I want the public to be patient, because how do you balance fixing roads in Blackrock up to Orange Hill that have been there for years unopened, fixing roads from Orange Hill to Spring Garden? How do you balance that with someone who is in Mills Trace in Palatuvere? Or this lady keeps calling me from Roxborough, want access to her house, and the lady from Kokowati who calls and says she rode bad, Mr. James, and the lady reached me in the airport last night from Top Hill, who lived down a side street from Top Hill, who complained bitterly that she would want to fix. We simply do not have the resources to fix every road that needs fixing, and it will be done over time. The development will have to be a continued process. People ask me, so how you come up with the priority, how you decide where we're going? Mm-hmm. So now we've had new equipment and we're moving west to east.
Okay.
So I think we've come up from Canaan, Lowlands. The development team is in Mount Hay. We're gonna come up to Patience Hill, Lambeau, Patience Hill, go up to Scarborough Mount Grace. Maybe we'll skip Scarborough Mount Grace and we'll go to Mason Hall, Moriah, and so we are moving east. At the same time, we have 4 districts on the island, 4 work department road infrastructure districts. We have one in Scarborough, one in Mason Hall, one in Roxborough, one in Speyside. And each of those districts have a paving and a patch, not a paving, but a patching gang. And they are essentially responsible for patching all those holes you see within their geographical area. So I think Speyside and Roxborough districts have been combined because of lack of human resources into one patching team. And they would identify the areas. It's not for the secretary to get involved to say, listen, there's a hole in Roxborough, there's a hole by the cemetery by Pablo that need fixing, and let the team move from Speyside where they are working now to come down there to go back to Speyside. Supervisors make a plan, they submit the plan to the division. Yes, things happen and we have to move them. But generally, we accept the plan early on in the fiscal, and they gradually move from place to place. It's a hard, difficult place because we have aging infrastructure and we have WASA.
Right. And even as you have that schedule.
We have WASA, who, before we came to office, had an MOU with the division to give the division up to $5 million to repair the holes that they dig. And significantly, a large percent of the openings in the road now are because of WASA. WASA's, under the last administration, again, decided not to meet with us, not to have that MOU with us. They're not even telling us when they're going to dig. They have an opening here. And so you see, you go up to Signal Hill, all along the road, WASA craters. There's some major ones right by school, by cost cutters. They dig it, we patch it, they dig it again along Plymouth Road. All over the place, most of these openings are WASA. Right. And so I've asked Secretary with the responsibility for settlements and public utilities to have a conversation with the Minister of Public Utilities to see how we can get back to that place where you have this MOU with them again, to see how we can increase the resources available to the division of infrastructure to do these repairs, because the money that have been on the budget just not enough for us to move equipment around the island to keep up with WASA, and we need a dedicated team working with WASA to effect the repairs when they have the openings.
Right. And we cannot coming down to the end, so I want to try to crunch as much as I possibly can.
I'll be short.
As we do that, one of the things that we have someone here asking, has there been any Tobagonians on these keyboards in Trinidad to ensure that these type of problems are alleviated? For example, even on the Water and Sewage Authority boards and these type of boards. And the next question would be, even as you have that schedule for paving and resurfacing and patching, what about the persons who are saying, Mr. James, listen, we as a community, we can come together and put something together and contribute to our road being fixed? How are those persons fit into that schedule? Because they are not saying, okay, we're sitting down and we're waiting for the THE to come and do everything. We have some resources on our end, and we are willing to also contribute to fixing the road or the lane or the drains or whatever. How do they fit into the entire schedule of things? So that's one with the boards and then the scheduling.
So in terms of persons willing to contribute to the repair of the public roads, we are delighted for that. If we have groups, individuals, communities who are willing to do that, then we will facilitate. The development team has units which we can assist with that. So if people are willing to contribute, we can do that. We have a program through the URP, for example, where you would send a team to assist someone build a house, a roof, or whatever if they provide the material. So in essence, we have that kind of collaboration between the public and the division going on already.
Who do people write?
They write to the administrator, and the administrator will discuss it with me and the staff and so on, and we'll decide which one we take on in terms of the URP and so on. In terms of, what's the other one?
The boards to ensure.
Right. I am like you, Chanel. I'm seeing boards being named as well. That's above my pay grade. And I think though that that the government will do well to ensure that Tobago is represented on boards that in fact impact Tobago, and no matter who is in office, I think I always come back to the people, and the people must say that this action is wrong and needs to be changed. If we say nothing, then we will get nothing, because this is about need and demand and so if we have a new government, they have their people,
Correct.
They have their people who contribute to their thing and want to be part of their governance. And so you can't sit back as people in Tobago and say, listen, I voted for James, tell James go and talk alone, or I voted for Fali, or so on. We, the people, have to say, as loudly as we can on social media and so on, that this is wrong.
Correct.
And we, the politician, must respond to that, right? But I too am very surprised. I saw the Port Authority, for example, commissioners being named, and I'm very surprised that they're not Tobagonians today. Very disappointed.
But isn't there something in the legislation? I remember being a part of a meeting where there was an indication that, particularly for the Port Authority Board, that one requires a Tobago representative on the board.
Well, I am not sure about that, but I am very disappointed that there's no Tobago voice. There should be at least 2, in my view, and but that's a conversation again that the Chief Secretary, I'm sure, would have. But I am very disappointed about it.
Right. And maybe you could double check that particular one, because I remember being in a meeting where that particular part of the legislation for that board was
Port
raised.
Authority, I think, has a Tobagonian should be there.
Yeah, and the port as well too. So maybe you could look into that. We have someone online asking, Secretary James, in your observation, why is it that these roads always need fixing?
I think WASA is a major part of the problem. So one example that comes to mind, of course, is Combie number 1, where we spent a lot of money to try to fix that after much complaints and so on. And 2-3 weeks after, WASA come and dig up 4 holes and leave it and went away. So a lot of it is WASA. I think early on we identified that we needed to improve our patching quality. And we had training programs set up for that, conversations with the teams and so on, to come up with what was the best patch design and the patch process. It's still not the best in my view, but again, it's a working process. A lot of the work before we came to office was done by private contractors, and we've been trying to get our staff to get back into the thing, and so it is a work in progress. But I'm sure we'll get better. I think the engineering core would again look at the patch design and the process and so on, and see if we could streamline the thing where every patch we do is following this identical process that is supposed to work, and get the staff to buy into the process. I think that is how we would give assurance of a better patch. But that is a work in progress.
What about international partnerships as it pertains to the quality of the road? Sometimes you go to certain countries and you drive on the road and you're like, wow, this is quality infrastructural development. I know that
you drive on highways. That's a challenge. You drive on highways. I just came from Barbados, and let me tell you, it's the most bad roads I ever see. Last time I went to St. Lucia, I had to go to Viewport, so I had to drive from Castries, over to Viewport. You can believe the roads. I think we have countries are focusing on the economy. The road infrastructure is part of it, but countries are focusing on their economy. How do we spend the resources to build the economy? Right. We in Tobago have placed too much emphasis, in my view, and I've always said that we need to find a balance between how we do infrastructure development, how we do capital expenditure, as opposed to maintenance. We need to find that balance. Because if we don't, we have a whole group of communities around the island who, yes, have been suffering from bad infrastructure, but whose only focus will be that, and we will not be able to take action to move the economy forward. And our first responsibility is to build out a Tobago that benefits everybody. And I can't even stress this or say it carefully enough, that there is a need for Tobagonians to understand that we have to find that balance between capital expenditure projects and maintenance projects. Because if we don't, we will continue to feel that if we build a community center and we patch all the roads, Tobago is the best place.
Understood. And, finally, even as we wrap up this morning, give us some insight into some of the projects that are upcoming from your division and a bit of, the plans that we can see coming out from you in your district.
In my district?
Yes, in your district. We have a THA election coming up on us.
Okay, well,
if you are,
yes,
or
yes.
if you are not,
yes,
about to put your hat in the race again.
Yes, Chanel. From the division, I think we are focused now on finishing the road at Friendship. The realignment of the roadways in Canaan and Bonaccord is on the mix. There will be some upgrades to those to accommodate what we think the traffic would be.
So just for clarity, once the new road is complete and the traffic is on that new connector road, work will be done on the existing Milford Road?
Yes.
Okay.
But also the connector roads between Stobby Local and Milford Road as well. There's some corners to widen and so on. So we're trying to put that together and have a conversation with the ministry, because again, those should be part of the airport project. You understand what I'm saying? Because the project doesn't work without it. We have the southwest drainage plan that we have been working on to see how we can get that to start. We have Bad Rock that's upcoming. In this fiscal, we've put in that there in our budget, and we're hoping that will be done. We're hoping to have the connection up Sangsers Hill that goes around Light and Life and loops back into Smithfield, so we can move that traffic, and we would hopefully finish off that connector that goes up to Bishops as well, up that hill that's been blocked off. So that's on the cards for in around Scarborough, and if we're lucky, we'll go straight over the Claude Noel and loop around and come back onto Claude Noel via flyover. So we have the conceptual plans for a whole suite of roads to increase the movement in and out of Scarborough, and hopefully we will put out a video with that soon.
Well, I look forward to that as well. That's some exciting news. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussion. We want to thank you, Mr. James. And, guys, thank you so much for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.